President Trump's pick for Secretary of State is testifying before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for his confirmation hearing. If confirmed, CIA Director Pompeo will replace outgoing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson amid escalating conflicts around the globe. Pompeo has been grilled on everything from the Iran nuclear deal to talks with North Korea to tensions with Russia, and even Special Counsel Robert Mueller's probe.
You have spoken to Special Counsel Mueller.
Yes, that's correct.
And what was the subject of the conversation?
Senator, I'm not going to speak to that.
Did the Special Counsel tell you not to speak about these things?
Senator, I have cooperated with multiple investigations. While the investigation continues, I think that's the appropriate way to approach it. And you should know, and no one here today should take away any, because of the fact that I don't want to speak out, there should be no negative inferences with respect to anything, or for that matter, positive inferences about the fact that I think it's most appropriate that while these investigations continue, I not speak to the conversations I've had.
Heather Timmons is a White House correspondent for Quartz. Heather, I'll get to the special counsel investigation in a moment, but first let's start on U.S. relations around the world. What are some of the main diplomatic challenges Mike Pompeo will face, if confirmed, as the next top U.S. diplomat?
Well, we have all kinds of challenges around the world right now. From the trade war that we seem to be starting with China, to the continued sort of aggression that you see Trump do on Twitter with European nations, to the fact that we pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord. So if he is confirmed, he's going to have to be able to handle all of these things.
So Pompeo appears to be in lock and step with the president on most points. That wasn't the case, though, with Rex Tillerson. Where do they disagree, and what happens then?
You know, one thing that I thought was interesting from today's hearing, and where Pompeo does obviously disagree, is about Russia. And he said very clearly that our relationship with Russia and the reason it's so bad is because of Russia's bad actions. And we haven't heard that from Trump. So I think that's something that people really did want to hear.
And we're learning today that Ricky Waddell is out as Deputy National Security Advisor. He's the fourth member of the National Security Council to exit in 4 days. So what's causing this exodus at such a crucial time?
Well, John Bolton is not incredibly popular among the National Security Council folks who were there. And there's a lot of really smart people there with a deep bench of experience that enjoyed working for McMaster. So I think we're going to see probably even more turnover in the next couple of weeks.
All right, more to come. Heather, let's switch gears now. Today, President Trump tweeted, "If I wanted to fire Robert Mueller in December, I would have fired him." GOP congressional leadership says they have reassurance the president will not fire Mueller, but more lawmakers are pushing for legislation protecting him. So how is the White House reacting to that?
I think right now, Trump seems to be testing the waters, as he does on Twitter, just sort of throwing out. It's such an interesting point right now at the White House because there doesn't seem to be anyone that's able to contain him or predict what he's going to say next or predict what he's going to do next.
But Heather, the president earlier tweeted he agreed with the cooperative, disciplined approach to engaging with Robert Mueller. He expressed confidence in his lawyer, Ty Cobb. But are you hearing talk of them changing that strategy?
I think that the president has been talking about how he could possibly fire him, you know, just in his late night conversations with some of his friends for months now. You know, is it possible? Could he do it? Could he get rid of the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein? This kind of talk goes on and continues to go on. And again, with this White House, it's hard to say, it's hard to predict what might come out of it.
Now, what does the knowledge that Pompeo also spoke with Mueller suggest to you?
That Mueller's doing a thorough investigation. I mean, the question that was asked today in the hearing is whether Trump had pushed him to try to interfere at all in the investigation. And I think that's probably what he's asking.
Now, meanwhile, we're learning more details about the FBI's raid on Michael Cohen's home and office. Sources tell CBS News President Trump appears to be the real target and that federal agents want to know if Cohen coordinated with the Trump campaign to attempt to bury any negative information. Why is that of concern?
Well, when we talk about these payments made to Stormy Daniels, and you know, there was a story that came out today in the AP and the New Yorker that there may have been another payment paid to a Trump building doorman to try to get rid of a story that was out there that he possibly had another child. this is not how you're allowed to use campaign finance money. You know, that's
Right.
the sort of, it's a little tiny arcane thing, but that's it. You can't spend campaign finance contributions on hush money.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty clear. All right, now, I want to end on House Speaker Paul Ryan announcing his retirement. He sat down with CBS This Morning's Gayle King this morning, where he discussed his relationship with the president. Let's listen.
Do you ever feel that you had to compromise your own personal values to play along, to get along?
No, but I mean, obviously we've had our differences, and we have disagreed privately and publicly, and that is the way it is. But I really do believe that I've been doing things that are in the best interest of the country to move it forward.
Did he make it
like I said, I
difficult
think
for
having
you?
a candid dialogue, no, actually hasn't. He
do
didn't
your
make it
job?
difficult for me. He gave us the ability to get historic things in law that we've been trying to get for a generation. That's not making things difficult. That's actually facilitating real reform.
And Speaker Ryan maintains that his departure from Congress has nothing to do with President Trump. But is the White House concerned with the large number of Republicans retiring this year?
They should be. They should be. It is unclear right now what their strategy is to try to help that. You know, we've seen Trump go on some of these special elections and go out and do what are essentially campaign rallies for some of the candidates. We might see that ramped up, or we might see the opposite. If it turns out that Trump is poison on the campaign trail, they might just sort of ramp that back.
All right, Heather Timmons, thank you for your insight.
Thank you.